Gary, shout out to you. Gary Scott Roger, shout out to you, my friends. Radiated Zombie, shout out to you. So, Radiated Zombie with a question. Radiated Zombie says, why do we think that Carmelo isn't on the cards? Yeah, it's a great question, this. So, we speak about this quite a bit. I think there's more wrestlers, than spots. So, you're always going to have people sat on the sidelines. I think they've looked at the mid-card title on SmackDown. They're not looking for Carmelo to go higher up the cards. They want him around that mid-card title. And so they're looking at Carmelo, who's a babyface. They're looking at Trick, who's getting massive babyface reactions. And babyface is fine. And, we've done Trick Carmelo. But I think for SummerSlam, they are looking more for the traditional babyface heel dynamic now. I think you could add Carmelo in and make it a triple threat. The problem is it's exactly the same as doing babyface, because you're still splitting the crowds. If the crowd look at babyface, they're going to choose which side they want, right? You're going to choose a side. I mean, unless you're just going to watch the match. But to be honest, if you just watch the match and don't really care who wins, I think wrestling misses a little something. I think it's always better when you everyone's rooting for someone. This is where you get Hulkamania, everyone behind Hogan, But I think where you split the crowds, that's where wrestling can just sort of lose a little bit. So babyface, I don't think it's ever ideal. I don't think it's something that you would ever go out of your way to necessarily book. There are occasions where it's been done, of course, and it's been done, a fair bit over the years. But by no means is it the norm, right? The norm is babyface heel. Of course it is. If we went back through every match in WWE history, what percentage, I don't even know the answer to this, but what percentage would be babyface versus heel in comparison to babyface versus babyface? Babyface would be very, very low. I'd say 10%, 20% at most. The vast majority is babyface versus heel. And I think WWE have looked at Trick and they've looked at the reactions that he's getting and they're loving it because it's big, it's loud, and I don't think they want to dial it down. I don't think they want to turn that volume down. If anything, they want it to get louder. So we got to put him in there with someone that's a heel. We don't have too many heels at the moment. It's one of our problems. And so this is where Baron Corbin comes in. Baron Corbin's come back. He's a heel. He's easy to dislike. He can work. He's not someone that's going to give you a 5-star match, but he is a heel who can get in there and do heel things and, kind of frustrate Trick. And he's got a good size to him as well. So, I mean, Trick's a decent-sized guy. Baron Corbin's a decent-sized guy as well. I actually think the build for this needs to be a lot stronger because I don't think the build has been brilliant for this match. I feel like Baron Corbin should have been causing Trick loads. He should have murked Little Yachty. Do you know what I mean? Like, he should have been absolutely destroying Little Yachty backstage. Surely that's the only reason as to why Little Yachty's been hanging around is because, well, his star power. I don't know how great that is, but he's not someone that's on my radar, right? But I'm sure he's a big current hip-hop star, whatever. But, like, surely one of the advantages is so a heel can beat up Little Yachty, leave him absolutely wasted backstage, Trick Williams then trying to get revenge for his friend. We haven't done any of this. And actually, a part of the build has been Carmelo, and a lot of people are expecting this to go to a triple threat. So my feeling is, if it doesn't become a triple threat tonight on SmackDown, then the reason as to why they've done it is because they don't want to confuse the babyface heel dynamic. And they just want to go with a nice, simple, straightforward babyface heel story at SummerSlam and, leave Carmelo out of it for that reason. I don't think it's something Carmelo has done. I don't think it's his fault. I just think that, our focus is elsewhere at the moment. And unfortunately in wrestling, you do find that happens. A lot of the time it's not the wrestler's fault. It's just they don't fit into the plans. They don't fit into the creative. And, my best guess is it's that. So could it be made a triple threat? Sure, they could do it. But someone somewhere has got to make a decision. And that decision is, do we want to just get Carmelo on the show? Because he deserves it, and there's people out there that like him, and let's make it a triple threat? Or is it better for Trick and maybe even Baron as well to just go out there and have a singles match? Because that way, hopefully, the whole crowd are behind Trick. Their whole crowd hate Corbin. It'll mean that Corbin gets all the heat. It'll mean that Trick gets all the enthusiasm, and it could help them both really establish themselves as heel and face moving forward. We can bring Carmelo into the story afterwards. Someone somewhere has got to make that decision. Do you go that way or do you go that way? So, yeah, again, I don't think it's anything really personal to Carmelo. I think it's just more a case of which direction are we going to go in. So maybe we'll get an answer on that tonight. There is a chance that he still gets added. There is a chance that the decision has been made that it's going to be a triple threat. But I think if the decision has been made that we would much rather a heel babyface dynamic and not confuse it, that's okay. That's okay. I mean, I think the best thing for Carmelo is to, he'll be frustrated. Of course he will. You know, you don't spend your life training hard to be a wrestler and then just sit out the big shows. But if I'm Carmelo, as long as I know it's not something I'm doing wrong, as long as I know that it's just the current story just doesn't need me, and that, then, just stay level-headed. You've got a big, long career ahead of you. There's going to be plenty of opportunities that come up. And, I think he should start getting frustrated if he finds himself missing out repeatedly. And I know people out there will say, well, he wasn't at WrestleMania and all this sort of stuff, but, he's still relatively new. I mean, how old is he? I mean, in my mind, is like maybe 31, if that. He is, 31. He's 31. So I always think ballpark, you can get to your mid-40s, I think quite comfortably. You can get to your mid-40s. Obviously, you might have the odd injury that takes you out for 6 months or whatever, maybe a year, but you should be able to get to your mid-40s, ideally. So he's probably got a 14-year career. So we've just done, WrestleMania 42. I mean, he's going to be around till WrestleMania 55. So, how much does he need to get upset about missing out on this? I would stay cool. I would stay focused. I would stay ready for what opportunity is about to come along and, jump on it. So, yeah, disappointing. I get it. I do. I understand. But, yeah, this has happened before. It's going to happen many, many times in the future. Sometimes the story just doesn't require you.